We're recording.
Hey, friends. It's Chris from Dashboard, and I have a great opportunity today. I got a note from my great friend Ben Lee, who I haven't seen in a long time, and is a sight for sore eyes right now. And we just thought maybe we would chat together with you guys. We chat with each other, maybe uh, give you a little insight into how we're getting through things, and maybe play some music. Ben and I have toured together. I've been a fan of Ben's longer than I've been in this band, I think. Because he's a child prodigy. He started very, very young. He's still baby-faced, so you can pass for it. Anyway, hello to Ben.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this. For me, it was funny. Like as a performer, I'm sure, that energy of just wanting to share music. It's obviously been absent in a certain way, but it's made me go back to like I remember when I started hanging out, like as a songwriter, like with other musicians, you'd be like, hey man, let me play you a song. You play me a song, and you'd talk, and that sort of organic song circle. It's just been
Yes.
fun to connect with my peers a little like that and get some of the vibe of just like sharing our songs, one on
I've been
one.
doing it too, and you feel just this, the distance is reduced instantly through the power of this connection. It's such an odd time.
It's so odd. You're in Nashville, right?
I'm in Nashville, just south
How's
of
it
Nashville.
been? How's it?
It's such an odd time, but
Yeah.
but just like always, music is the thing that's getting me through it. I can say for myself.
You always looked well groomed, but how are you maintaining, like your hair looks, even the amount your roots have grown in under your highlights there, it looks perfect.
Oh, dude, you never knew this? This is not highlights. This is a
Oh,
birthmark.
that's your real hair?
Yeah, it's a birthmark. Sometimes I dye it the color of the rest of my hair. I have two cousins that have it
Oh
too.
my God. I always
Um,
thought that was just like really expensive hairstyling.
no, it's the least expensive. It's a
So what
do-not.
do you mean it grows to a certain point and then it changes color?
No. Just this. It grows in this section here. This bit of hair
Oh,
right here
oh,
in the
that's
middle.
blonde from the root there.
So it's like Mikhail Gorbachev, the spot on his head.
Oh
Like
man.
I probably have one of those under my. I have a discoloration of skin under there,
Oh, that is,
and
what a
it's called a
fortunate.
piebald, like my favorite band, one
Yeah.
of my favorite bands. And yeah, so it grows that way. But sometimes I hide it, sometimes with some hair dye. But the weird thing about it is that hair is porous to a certain degree, but this hair is not. This birthmark hair is not porous. So if I dye it, it washes. Like if I even use permanent dye, it washes out within like a
Wow.
week.
You
So
think
anyway,
about on a like scale of deformities you could be born with. That is a pretty fortunate one, right?
going into this business, it
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
okay. I got beat up for it a lot in elementary
Did
school,
you
but
really?
sure I did.
And then did the girls like it later?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. So how are you balancing like staying creative and, just the urge to sort of like still engage with the music and parenting and all of that during this time?
I'm. Uh, it's a good question. Um, I think it'd be an overstatement to say I'm taking it a day at a time. I'm taking it like an hour at a
Mhm.
time. I'm segmenting my life into like blocks of time. Um, I do really well with a schedule, and so I've 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 made one for myself every day, and I follow it pretty. That it's fairly dogmatically, and that's good for my propensity to have anxiety.
Yeah.
Just to have some semblance of like there's a procedural layout to this day. Otherwise, it's like Groundhog's Day. Um, but we're playing a lot of music. We're um, I tour so much that I'm just taking it as a gift to be here with my family
Hmm.
for a longer stretch than I normally am able to, and and we got a dog.
Okay. You did like a rescue thing, like
Yeah, we
leading up
got
to
a
the,
rescue.
yeah.
Jasper. We rescued a dog on the 11th in the morning. Oh, I think we picked up the dog at 9. I think by 9:15 the dog was fully adopted.
Wow.
Yeah, perfect
That's
little
so,
beauty.
that's so
How about
cool.
you? How are you getting through it?
I mean, oh God, I'm actually in the middle of I'm battling my 10-year-old about her schoolwork so intensely because she's like me. She's sort of a social person, and she finds the reduction of her school experience to this online thing just demoralizing.
Very
She actually
difficult.
gets on and gets depressed because she like
Yeah.
misses her friends more. It's almost like it rubs her nose in what she's missing a little bit. So, but it's really tricky because I want to honor that. And this isn't a forever type of situation, it's a finite thing. But as a parent, you're still like, well, look, I can't sit and teach you all this stuff. You got to like take advantage of what the school's offering and do it. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty,
difficult to balance. I think parents all
oh,
over the world, all over the country and world are kind of battling.
it's so,
How do
so
they do,
tricky.
how do they do their work? How do they maintain their balance and provide their kids what they need right now? And there's people opting out
I
of
know.
schooling for their kids. I'm reading a lot about that and saying like, oh, I'm going to teach them the things that I'm doing right now. And there's value in that. And
I like that, but I fear it's just going to become playing Sims
I
and
agree.
watching YouTube. Like the reality is, without some sense of obligation, she's having a hard time motivating herself to do much. So
Yeah.
I'm torn. I'm torn because as a creative person, I don't like being told what to do. It's tricky. It's tricky, you know.
Well, do they, does your daughter like do any of this with her friends?
A
Like
little, but again,
visual face to
she's
face?
a little like it bums her out, kind of.
Bums her out.
That's
This
weird.
stuff does too.
Anyway, I don't need to air all my my parenting dirty laundry. But anyway, and creatively, I'm just trying to like, yeah, I was going to make a record right before this started, and I went through a few weeks of like, oh man, I don't know if any of this work is relevant anymore in this new world we're
Oh
in.
yeah.
And now I'm sort of like re-owning the songs a little, and that's I think why I've enjoyed sharing them songwriter to songwriter with people. But yeah, I'm just sort of like trying to follow the vibe of like what's creative each day and exciting. You
Yeah. I
know?
keep being asked, am I writing now, like about right now? Am
Yeah,
I currently writing about what's going on right now?
yeah.
And I don't write that way. I don't know about you. I mean, I guess I could as an exercise, but generally, I ruminate on life experiences for a while before they become a song.
Yeah, and it's more like internal usually, I think, for artists, unless you write really politically or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Well, why don't we just get into it? I'd love to play a song for you, and then we can just like go back and forth a little bit. And
Yeah,
you feeling that?
I am.
I'm drawn to it too, right? Because I'm been writing all these songs about being a parent and maturing and still being an artist, and it's like it feels very relevant to me. So I'm gonna play you this song about me sort of re-understanding my initial sort of sense of what hedonism meant. So this
Tell
song's
us the
called
title.
Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. Something in the corner calls me, trials lay in store for me, adventures I perceived when I was small. Life in present tense is a derangement of the senses. I'm untangling the mystery down the hall. And then my parents' voices come intruding on my choices while I fight to earn the right to have some fun. Running off to join the circus of my personal perversions. My destiny is further, but the finest wines are wasted on the young. All poets are forsaken, reading Rambo, Keats, and William Blake. I'm young and I'm pretentious, I don't care. Reaching for the gods, yeah, all I asked for was a nod of recognition. Come on, prove to me you're there. Desire's all around me and it calls me and it taunts me like it keeps an ancient secret I forgot. Of those years of dreaming, yes, some nights I wake up screaming, but I still prefer my madness to anything you've got. Sex and drugs and rock and roll work better now than back when I began. So kiss my lips and feed my soul. I came to hear the band. Growing up means taking chances, selling soul for big advances, mortgages, a family needs space. Vacationing on sunny beaches, scheduling of parent teachers, conversations we don't want to face. But underneath it still there is a brutal source of will that wants to storm the gates of heaven just because. And a growing new commitment to a radical lost vision. Some things take their time to grasp, like understanding sex and drugs and rock and roll are better now than back when we began. So kiss my lips and heal my soul. I came to hear the band. When I touch you now, I can finally hear the sound. It's like the world of sense is enemy no more. And all those nibbling past frustrations, and all those silly past frustrations, now just bodies undulating. I accept the job I came here for. I taste your fruit, the nectar drips, and I'm a sucker for your hips. The universe is singing like a bird, connected to the cosmos. I cannot believe we're this close. Love is just a word until there's music playing, sex and drugs and rock and roll work better now than back when we began. So kiss my lips and feed my soul. Come on, baby, breathe me in. Yeah, we remember everything. It's clearer than it's ever been. We came to hear the band. We came to hear the band. We came to hear the band. Thank you.
Hey, that's a powerhouse, man.
Yeah, man. I've just been trying to it's funny, I've been trying to make music for people my age too. Like, instead of holding onto this eternal, let me make music for 16-year-olds, being like, my peers are the most, I personally, I don't mean this with condescension, I find people 40 and up more interesting. So I want to make music for them. And I want to hear what they have to say, and I want to share. So, that's kind of my headspace around it all.
It's beautiful. And it was lyrically just staggeringly beautiful.
Oh,
it's
thanks,
we've just lost John Prine, but it had a real, to me, maybe that's why it struck me, that it reminded me of John Prine, but the fact that you were able to pack that much detail.
Oh, man, thank you.
Into so few bars. Incredible.
Kind words. I'd love to hear. Do you have anything new you've worked on? Or you want to play something older, or what are you vibing on?
I have a lot of new stuff. I don't know how to play it all.
Yeah.
But I haven't debuted any of the stuff that is, like you said, is for who I am now.
Totally.
But I have quite a bit of it. I do have one new song. I've already played it a couple times, but
I saw the light bulb go off.
I got to go to I got to grab it. My other guitar.
You got to grab the saw and the bow.
But there's no way this will be in tune. I got that going for me.
I have faith in your ability to tune a guitar at this point.
That just reeks of effort. I'm going to play it just as it is.
Cool.
And I think this song is called Burning Heart. Yeah. Look, maybe I'll start. I mean, you can if you want to, but if you want, I can start, because I've been thinking over every single thing I might have ever said and done. And there are just so many things I wish I hadn't said and done. And I feel heavy. Now that things are said and done, I just feel heavy. 'Cause I'm carrying around all of this with me. If I never make a sound, it might just kill me. I've kept swallowing it down for such a long time. Yeah, I've been sitting with this now for quite a long time. And the problem isn't yours, it's really all mine. And since we're being honest from the first time, and what I really want to tell you is that sometimes not every every single time, but probably most times. I wish all that fault was yours, but it was all mine. And since we're being honest for the first time in a long time, I see you everywhere I go, and everywhere I go, I feel the same damn burning heart. 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 Now here's the worst part. I guess I'll never know for sure what made us go wrong. I can tell 'cause I've been searching for some broken missing piece, but it's not any single thing. It's just a million little pinpricks and a million little stings that almost broke us. But I don't think we have to let that break us. And that's hard for you and me, but you know, so what? We got anywhere by leaving every door shut. I'm just asking if you feel the way I'm feeling. Like this hurt that I'm afraid just might start healing. That I don't want to lose, 'cause it's the one thing that I really want to feel. And maybe sometimes, not every single time, probably most times, I know every fault of ours and I can hold mine. And since we're being open for the first time in a long time, I see you everywhere I go, and everywhere I go I feel the same damn burning heart. The same damn burning heart. The same damn burning heart. I see you everywhere I go, and everywhere I go I feel the same damn burning heart. 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 The same damn burning heart.
Whoa. Oh man, you've always been like the king of heartbreak. That's amazing. I love that too, because it's like it following on with a similar theme. It takes a certain maturity or place in your life to reflect properly. And I don't know, I find that sense of regret that comes with growing up. It's like inevitable, but it's a burden to carry.
Yeah, but the thing about growing up is, I know it's cliche, but you know, you you become wiser,
Yeah.
and I've savored that so much. I don't feel like I've lost my youthful exuberance, because I think as musicians we just don't.
Mm.
But we approach these very adult situations we're in as grown men, with a kind of almost like fearless abandon of like, I can solve this, or I can make sense of this, or that's kind of a young attitude, you know, like I can change the world kind of feeling. And it's on a smaller scale. I can change this moment for what it means to me.
Man, do you
But
know what?
I think that playing music, it keeps you engaged in a youthful place in your soul. To a
Totally.
youthful place in your soul.
You know what's making me think about that? You know, that when we toured together, we were both experiencing in different ways. We were both on the verge of like new moments in our career where there was sort of like hopes and dreams and success. And, you know, you go through these key milestones in your life where there's opportunity before you and you're trying to seize it and you're reaching new challenges and that. For me, a huge part of, I think, what has continued to form me as a more mature human being has been the not being able to fully realize some of my more, probably my baser ambitions. You know what I mean? Like I always think like, if it was up to me, I would have created a very boring career for myself.
Hmm.
It would have just been like blanket success, steady growth onwards until Hall of Fame. But I guess I just like, because we haven't really chatted in like a decade, like I just wonder like how you have processed that, the more youthful sort of yearnings and ambitions into like where you stand now as a musician, and you know what I mean?
Well, for me, it was a strange path. You know, we had success beyond what I would have could have expected. Of course, I dreamed it, but for it, but we just, you know, I went from playing an acoustic guitar in basements to playing arenas, and found that I didn't love it. Kind of to your point of like, if you'd had it your way, you'd have just gone like this until you were in the Hall of Fame. I would have too, I guess, if I had it my way. I'm glad I didn't, though, because I didn't love it. So I just stopped for a number of years. And when I came back, I was like, I'll play the right places for what feeds my soul. You know, if that's an amphitheater, okay, but even better if it's a club where I can hear the last person in the back of the room. But this was not the path I think that I could have ever really truly expected or deserved. I feel so fortunate that, and we're in a rough time, you know, people like you and me who we play shows, that's how we make our living. A lot of people are out of work. And a lot of people are less fortunate than we are, and they're out of work. I don't mean to equate the two, but it's scary. It's a scary time to be out of work. It's a scary time to be person. And it's an uncomfortable time to not be able to connect with people, because when fear abounds, I find great solace in connecting with a community. Thankfully, we have like small things like this that we can do. It's just at least let the air out of the balloon a little bit. But yeah, you know, our tour got halted midway through, and we all went home, just like so many bands. And it really gave me a moment to appreciate just how good it was. I mean, this is our 20-year anniversary. That tour was our 20-year anniversary tour. And just to, yeah, even though the rug got pulled out from under us, I left with a huge appreciation for this year and every year that I've been able to be in this position of being able to play music for people.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I look at like my wife who acts, and how creatively it's like it's frustrating. An actor can't just like get on Instagram and act. We at least have the creative ability to do our thing. We can sit in a room and play music. It doesn't stop that process. But yeah, obviously.
Can she find a way? Is there something for her?
Somewhat. She's trying to do things like she's thinking of organizing some like readings or something online where you get actors together and do a movie or a play or something.
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
I'm just trying to be creative. Man. All right, I'm gonna get a little positive with my next one, because I feel like I'm starting to get I'm starting to tap too into my own heartbreak. But this is this other new one I've written that's I was sort of thinking about. This is actually before coronavirus and everything. I was thinking about the environment and how the attitude we have to take in the face of potential environmental catastrophe. It's almost like being in show business, in that the odds of success are so slim, but you have to give it your all and show up with a positive attitude. And I was thinking about how, you know, Ron Howard, I saw this, I've never done his masterclass, but I saw on Facebook, it came up with Ron Howard talking about directing. And he said, the thing you have to realize about directing is that every project, if you let it, will find a way to breaking your heart eventually.
Oh,
And I thought it was so good. But I was thinking about what type of personality it takes to continue to subject ourselves to the slim odds of success, whether it's like the people who are trying to look for solutions to capture carbon, or people trying to like connect, like be musicians, you know what I mean? It's like all of it, there's a certain resilience of spirit, right?
yes.
And I was thinking like, what type of person is this? And this phrase came in my head: I was born for this bullshit. And so I wrote a song about that. Yeah, I'll play. Whoa. You're giving up romance. I wanna learn to dance. You tell me culture's done. I disagree for fun. You're caught in cynicism. I say your mind's a prison. I keep staring in the mirror and I'm getting weirder. I'm still here singing my song, loving everybody in a world gone wrong. Yeah, la 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. I'm still here, feeling free. Away from the crowd is the place to be. Yeah, la 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. Desires you repress. Desires you repress them. I joined 3 cults and left them. You've come to sad conclusions. I'm looking for some new solutions. In love with your depression, I advocate rebellion. It's your prerogative, but I'm staying positive. I'm still here singing my song, loving everybody in a world gone wrong. Yeah, la 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. Some say it's all too late, but not me. I don't relate to that. La 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. You call it being stubborn. I'm gonna keep on loving. You tell me I'm naive. I've had my share of grief. Watch everyone conforming. There's nothing worse than boring. You see swagger in my stroll. I call it soul. Yeah, I'm still here singing my song, loving everybody in a world gone wrong. Yeah, la 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. I'm still here, and that's okay. Nothing you can say is gonna make me change. La 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. I'm still here, I've got my dreams. Some of us like swimming upstream. La 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 la. I was born for this bullshit. I'm still here, singing my song, loving everybody in a world gone wrong. La 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 la. 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 I was born for this bullshit.
Oh man, that's great. Oh, you got me a couple times with some of those lines, man.
It's yeah, well, you know, transparency is a good asset as a songwriter.
Yeah,
As you know
fantastic.
well.
So what's the plan for these songs now?
I don't know. I had different ideas. I was trying to find a producer. I've produced enough of my own records that I was like, I need to shake it up a little. Because
Hmm.
sometimes I think the way you make a record, it dictates the way people see it. Meaning, if you do the same old, people see it as the same old. Whereas when you go fresh start, people look at it with a fresh start, you know? So I
Right.
wanted to create a dynamic. Maybe even I was thinking working with an artist as producer, because I've produced other artists, but I don't know. It is a different world now than it was 6 weeks ago, and
That's right.
I'm kind of like trying to pay attention to a very subtle beating of my heart and just because I could start it now. I'm in my studio. I could just start it and farm it out to people and say, hey, add drums. The record would be done in 2 weeks probably.
Right.
But I'm not sure that is adequate for what just what I want to say with it. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting a minute. I'm doing this. This is the plan, is getting a natural vibe with the songs by playing
Yeah,
them
I
for
mean,
people.
I
Yeah.
like the fearlessness of just sharing them with people before they're presented
Well,
in
it's
their.
sort of like the rules are gone in a way, you know?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're gone.
But I don't know. Some days I go, oh, I should just do it and start it today. And other times I go, I'm waiting for like a great group of musicians and record live. And, we'll see. We'll
Have you
see.
been finding ways to add levity to this situation besides music?
Animal Crossing. I've enjoyed that. Um, I like Terrace House on Netflix. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's a Japanese reality show. It's amazing because, in American reality shows, everyone is just like a brute and horrible to each other.
Yes, yes.
These are like polite reality shows that are very psychological, and it's amazing. It's an amazing show. So basically, watching stuff and then just like trying to laugh. I mean, I'm constantly just joking around with my wife and kids. And it's like that for me, that's the real Jewish DNA in me. That's like, we survive suffering with humor. Yeah, it's, how about you? How are you adding levity?
um, Skateboarding.
Oh yeah, cool.
I've been doing that a lot out front, and I've been playing a lot of cover songs. Just
Yeah.
humorous ones, especially. Just ones that kind of tickle me in a place. It's like, oh, this is poignant, but it's just there's like lines in the song you just sang for us that kind of grab you and go, like right when you're very wrapped in and roped into the seriousness of it, something like lets you off the hook a little bit. I love those moments, and trying to take this for what it is. Like it is a terribly hard time, but it is the thing. One of the defining moments of our life that
My
we'll
God, our
remember.
kids are going to remember this their whole lives. I mean, it is so
Like, yeah,
intense.
kids right now this will be their memory of their life with their parents. It'll be the most pronounced memory they have of their
God,
life
I
with their
gotta
parents.
lose my temper a bit less, I think.
You what?
I should lose my temper a little bit less then when I think of it in that context.
Well, I mean, we're all just people.
Yes, totally. You want to do one more and to wrap it up, and then we'll.
Yeah. Let me grab this one, and I'll play a song that's like you asked. What's been kind of like getting me through this, and there's this song by one of my favorite artists. Have you heard Corey Brannon?
Oh yeah.
So
totally.
Corey is a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
I went to see Corey. Well, I went to see other people play when I was living in Florida briefly some years back, and Corey his name wasn't on the bill, and I watched him play before my friends played. Don't tell my friends, but I split afterwards because it was the best thing I'd seen. And we'd go on to become good friends, and he's just an incredible talent. But I've been enjoying this song that he has called Skateland South. It just like, I love the idea that as an adult, he like looked back through that lens of like, what was like the purity of like risk and love and all that stuff, and in what setting could that be set in that could make that the most pronounced. And he said it in a roller skating rink.
Oh wow.
Because you go in your like in your tweens to that kind of thing. So it's a song called Skateland South by Corey Brannon. Well, every other Sunday at the Skateland South, I always end up with my skate in my mouth. Well, maybe today's the day I could make some okay sentences. Hell, I might as well undo my laces, 'cause there she is, all marshmallow white and bubblegum pink. Her dreamsicle roller skates, circle or ink. And this pastel heaven could last until 7 or 8. If my mom watches Real Housewives, sometimes she picks me up late. Hey DJ, play that one I know you know. As we roll across that carpet, smooth and slow, leaves the neon nice. Cause the next one's a couple skates only. Well, my friends bet their quarters that I'm gonna cave. But this 7th soda pop is making me brave. Or maybe it's the black light. But the moment looks right to me. So I roll up like Romeo, Juliet say, can you see that video game? That's Galaxia 4. And someday I'll get the highest score. And I'll type in your name. I want to share all this fame with you. And we'll celebrate with a couple skates or 2. Hey DJ, play that one I know you know. As we roll across that carpet, smooth and slow, and we ease the neon nice and low. Cause the next one is couple skates only.
Wow. What a great song, man.
Oh,
I've
he's a
got it.
master, man.
What album is that off? I'll just look it up. Couple
I
Skates.
can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Okay.
The one with the birds on it.
Okay, I'll check it out. That's so good. And your delivery, so you were fully like in the character. Like you'd like really like you've practiced that a lot?
I've watched him do it a lot.
Dude, so good. I love
I've
it.
watched, if you ever get the chance to go see Corey play, it's like a master class in
Okay.
showmanship.
I'm definitely going to. You sold me with that. That was so
Please.
cool.
He's
Um,
just one of a kind.
well, I'm so glad we did this, man. And you're one of those people who like, I'm just always happy you're out there doing it. It's like, you feel like just those like spiritual peers that are just out there doing it, like opening their heart, sharing music. Like I don't know, it's just good. Hopefully it's not another 10 years before we circle back and have another
Oh
chat.
no, that was too long. And,
Yeah.
Hey, but we both got awful busy, but look,
Exactly.
This is a good time to reconnect and stay connected.
Yeah, man. Well, love to your family. And
Likewise.
and we'll I'm gonna press stop on this recording.